Welcome to AstroEnergy with Astrologer Angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the AstroEnergy show on Blog Talk Radio. My name is Shelley Overton and I am an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. So here we are again in another week, and we've got all sorts of planetary shifts and aspects going on. I don't know if you pay attention to what goes on in the news, but I do. And there have been a lot of people transitioning lately, and I don't know if you've seen all of them, but the lady, what was her name? Denise Matthews, I believe it is, and she passed. She was with Vanity 6 way back in the 80s. I think it was a group that Prince had created out of all women, and he wrote the songs for them. Anyway, she passed. Scalia, the Supreme Court judge, passed. And I think a few others. Man, I was just seeing somebody else who transitioned today too, and I can't remember who it is. I'll just look it up here real quick while we're kind of getting up and running. And we had the Grammys last night. That was pretty cool. My daughter, again, is a big Taylor Swift fan, so she was very excited to see Taylor Swift win and intrigue. So definitely with, we have Vesta really close to, I think it is Venus. Gosh, why is my brain not working today? So let me just real quick get my aspects here. There aren't a whole lot of people in line. If you're interested in getting a reading today, the number is 347-9... Oh, hold on. I don't even know if I can remember that. Isn't that terrible? 347-994-3365. I swear. There it is. Vesta is right next to Uranus, the unexpected. And also, arguments can happen with that energy as well. So things that are power struggles with other women, that kind of thing. So just be on the lookout for that. But we also have Vesta squaring Pluto. And so there is an energy of transition around women because Vesta represents women along with Venus. And Venus is at 29 degrees Capricorn, which is also a transitioning degree because Venus rules the second house of the physical structure of the body. And Saturn, which is also the physical structure of things, is the ruler of Capricorn. And Venus is at the last degree, and last degrees mean wrapping up of energy. So Venus at 29 Capricorn can be the wrapping up of a life for a woman, and depending on where it falls, like right now in Orlando in Eastern time zone, she's at the midheaven, and that means the center top part of the wheel, and that is the fame point. So it is a transition of famous people. So I do believe there are probably going to be more people passing in this probably next day, I would expect. So what else? Let's see here. Oh, so the Grammys, that's also Venus. And let's see. Oh, Rihanna, another Venus energy. She was sick and could not make it. So the unexpected with the energy going on there with Aquarius. So Venus will be going into Aquarius tomorrow. So that means something unexpected, something unusual, energy around weather patterns, around stock markets. Definitely a week for a roller coaster ride with the stock market. This is the degree that you have to watch going from Earth energy, which is the tangible and material world, into the unexpected, the idea, concept around something, and that's an air energy. Air energy is always unpredictable because it comes in from any direction. It's the quantum energy of the zodiac. So you're going from linear, which is Capricorn, into quantum. And that's like going from, well, last week we had the ship out on the ocean getting caught in the storm, going from dry land onto the roller coaster ride. and then coming back onto dry land. So it's kind of that energy a little bit. It's going from stable to rocking and rolling and up and down and unpredictable. So, yeah, okay, let's go through the zodiac here. So the moon is in Gemini, and Gemini is also contributing to this energy. So specifically the stock market right now with moon in Gemini, today is opposing Saturn in Sagittarius. So this can also mean foreign stock markets, foreign energy is being a little bit chaotic. And then, again, Venus going into Aquarius. Mercury is already in Aquarius, and Mercury answers to the moon today. And actually, hold on, I take it back. Moon answers to Mercury. Thank you. The Mercury energy is answering to Uranus because he is in Uranian energy, which is Aquarius. So that alone, again, it's that fickle energy, that upset, that upheaval. It connects people to other people. Verbally, it's a really strong energy of expression, of thought, of genius, Mercury in Aquarius. And Venus goes from that energy of conservatism into a more, I would say, liberal mindset, only because Aquarius rules humanitarianism in a sense of connecting everyone and unions and that kind of energy. So there's going to be probably something going on around Hillary and taking her to task for some type of energy around her policies or her energy related to the, well, first off, I should say, to the stock market, and then probably the people, obviously, because that's what it rules. So it's the energy of the people, it's the energy of the masses, and policies related to what she's going to do when she, or if she gets into office. So the Venus energy, the feminine. Okay, so we have Jupiter still retrograde in Virgo, and I probably should grab my little cheat sheet here of where the planets are going to be coming up. And let's see if there's anything in my little cheat sheet about it going. No, I don't see anything close by for February for transitions other than Venus. Venus, and then, of course, last week, Mercury. We've got, I can't even tell you, there's so many inconjuncts flying all over this chart, it's not even funny. We've got a Jupiter inconjunct to Neptune, opposite Neptune, and inconjunct to Uranus and Vesta. We have Mars inconjunct to the Moon. We have, I'm sorry, my mind is not working today. I don't know why. I know why, because I stayed up late watching the Grammys. I apologize. Mars is in inconjunct to Pluto. And so that can be, or actually I take it back, he's in sextile to Pluto. He's in semi-sesquadrate to Saturn. And also Pluto is the same. So that means they're 30 degrees apart in the sky, and they are in, I wouldn't say that's really a difficult energy, but it's not comfortable, and that's probably always the way I describe it. It's just not something that's going to be really supportive, but I have a different way of reading this because I definitely see adjacent signs as two ways. They're variations of each other's energy, but they're also the energy of making up for what the one before didn't give you. So while they're next to each other, they can, it's like, see, I'm thinking like an artist now, because adjacent colors on the color wheel are complementary. And they can be complementary, but they can also say, well, you didn't do this, so I'm going to do it. And so then the energy before goes, well, but I didn't want to do it. That's not my purpose. So Mars in Scorpio is all about the depth of emotion and taking action, and probably in a lot of ways like what Taylor Swift did last night is getting back at Kanye by being the bigger person and saying, hey, don't listen to people who would take credit for your fame and fortune. And so it's getting back and saying, no, I'm not going to let you walk all over me. I'm going to take charge here. And then Saturn in Sagittarius is saying, yeah, but I'm not really concerned about what other people are thinking. I just want to go and do and be happy and not worry about that. And that's also an energy around the music industry because Sagittarius is music. So it's about ownership around your nature to go and seek and find and take action, whereas Scorpio can wallow in the energies and the depths of the emotion. So Mars is saying, no, we've got to sit here and look at what's deep and what's meaningful and valuable, and Saturn and Sagittarius is like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to go off and just enjoy my life. And so they're not really working in tandem, but they do build on each other. And then Pluto in Capricorn is over there saying, okay, everybody, let's just get our ducks in a row, and where are our emotions? And so probably out of the three planets, the ones that are working together right now is Mars in Scorpio and Pluto in Capricorn, because Mars is taking action in the depths and Scorpio answers to Pluto, and Pluto's in Capricorn creating the structure, and they're 60 degrees apart, so they're sextile, which is a positive aspect. So there's some energy of compatibility and working together towards finding out the truth, getting to the heart of the matter, which is what Scorpio wants to do. It wants to know what the truth is. It's seeking that out, whereas Saturn, which rules Capricorn, Saturn is trying to integrate the higher spiritual side of things and not necessarily worry so much about the tangible world things as much as just keep moving forward and keeping it rolling. So we're feeling that energy. We're wanting to go forward, but Saturn can say, yes, you can go forward, but you have to have the base build on first. So we're talking to people of other countries and other cultures, and we're really getting to the heart of what's going on with that. And again, Scorpio being a feminine side, feminine energy, Mars is masculine in the feminine energy of Scorpio. So this is also the political arena, and Mars is taking action around politics and ramping up the rhetoric, but yet still trying to, honestly, on some level, trying to see how much they can get away with, which is probably Mars energy, like saying, I'm just going to jump in and do it. And then Scorpio is saying, yeah, but you've got to first off protect yourself from what others are thinking about you, and then getting to the heart of the matter and trying to maneuver a way to create something more valuable, which Scorpio rules a value between self and others. Okay, let's see. Venus we talked about. Mercury is in Aquarius. Again, it should be a real strong sense of lightness coming around thoughts and clarity. I know here in Orlando we've been having more clear days, which is really awesome because, you know, the watery energy can bring us down and make us feel like cocooning and pulling in. And Moon in Gemini is also going to enhance this because Moon is in positive aspect by element, which is air, to Mercury. So they're working in tandem. The mood is wanting to keep it light, wanting to be social and charming. And thoughts are revolving around humanitarian efforts and how we can move forward as a group and connect to others and network with people. Sun is at last degrees of Aquarius, so Sun is the ego in the sense of self, wrapping up that ego energy or that need. It's also the drive because it's the sun. It's about burning it up and taking action, having the sun on something, the light. It rules Leo, so it is about fame, it's about getting attention, and it's about connecting to people. So this has been a month of really strong connecting to other people and what's their story, but not necessarily engaging in their emotional life or their issues, because Aquarius keeps it fairly light and detached. So as the sun moves into Pisces in the next week, it's going to go back down into that hermit state and want to pull in and get more into the emotions, into the feelings, get sentimental, go to the past. So it's going to be the next month about really feeling like you need to nurture yourself and take care of yourself. And let's see, and then we have Chiron still conjunct Neptune in Pisces. So it is about our wounding and how we've been able to express ourselves creatively and, where we were hurt by that from a past life, because not only is Chiron next or within 10 degrees of Neptune, which is karma and the past, it is also within 3 degrees of the South Node, which is also bringing in the energy from a past life now. So we're feeling that really strongly about what is it that we connect to and resonate in retrospect. So past relationships, past lives, anything from the past. That's what's coming up, especially with the sun going into Pisces. So, okay, so now I wanted to talk a bit about our cycles. So the planets obviously go around the sun, and so they create cycles. And one of the cool things is the connectedness when they follow a pattern. They go through and touch certain points in our natal chart. So Saturn, for instance, Saturn is a 28-year cycle. So every 7 years, and you hear a lot about, even in non-astrological terms, about 7-year cycles. And 7-year cycles can be difficult because in astrology, in the astrological world, Saturn squares itself. So when a planet comes in and is in your chart, and it's okay, so Saturn shows where you create structure, where you need to create structure in your life, and it shows you where you're lacking in that structure. So as he goes through the zodiac, every 7 years, he squares or opposes himself. And ultimately, at 28 years, comes back to where he started. So every 7 years, that's a 90-degree hard angle to where he was. And so that brings in stress aspects and difficulty, and we start to have things not necessarily go our way. We have other people telling us we can't do this or we can't do that, and we find resistance, which is Saturn's realm. Saturn builds our muscles by giving us resistance, and lifting weights is a really good analogy for the energy of Saturn, because we don't necessarily have the muscle to lift the heaviest weight, so we have to build into it. So Saturn gives you the resistance and lets you build into those goals. And that's his purpose. He is about life purpose. He's about helping us build into our goals. But he does it through resistance, which can be highly frustrating, not going to kid you. So every 7 years we feel this resistance and this uncomfortableness, discomfort. So, sorry, I have a little tickle in my throat. So if I go away every now and then, it's because I'm muting, so you don't have to hear me cough and get that tickle taken care of. So Saturn goes in these 7-year cycles when he squares himself, but ultimately he's in a 28-year to 30-year cycle. So that brings about our evolution and our ability to grow through the different parts of our lives. So I'm going to go through a few of the different points in astrological time, starting with birth, of course. All the planets are where they were at the time of birth, and that could be anywhere, depending on where you are in the world and what time you were born and, what's going on. So when you're born, you'll have between 0 and 7 the first waxing square of Saturn, which is what I just talked about. And so we'll be building as people for the first 7 years, learning so many things and growing. And then at 7 years, and I don't know if you felt this or seen this, I just remember when I used to babysit, and I babysat this 7-year-old boy, and I swear to to the heavens above, I would never babysit another 7-year-old boy because he challenged me at everything I told him to do, and he was the most difficult child I'd ever babysat for. And that's what happens at 7. You get contentious. You really feel that you can go against your parents. And it happens also at 3.5, which is also another difficult energy by degree. So it's 45 degrees apart, and that energy can be a bit of a stress as well. So children at 3.5, they say the terrible twos. I really have always found the 3s to be a little bit more terrible, because that's when children learn to say no. And that's the resistance beginning. And then at 7, again, they're like, they're feeling that discomfort of that Saturn square. Then, of course, we have Jupiter in its first return at 11.9 years, which is really specific, so around 12. And, in girls' lives, 12 is a pretty significant time for the shift and change transformation of the body. So that happens about 12 years old. Then between 14 and 15, we have the first opposition of Saturn. And that's, of course, when the terrible teens kick in. And then around 17 to 18, we have the second Jupiter opposition. So we're going to feel a little bit lighter as that happens, but also another transformation age. Of course, we graduate high school, and I don't think that that's coincidence that these transitions in our lives happen in conjunction with Saturn cycles. So, and even Jupiter cycles, which is the planet of transformation. So 18 years, second Jupiter opposition, we graduate high school. Then at 21, of course, there's a waning square to Saturn, so he's 3/4 of the way. No, I take it back. 21. Yeah, 3/4 of the way. I take it back again. 3/4 of the way back through the zodiac and coming up on his last square before he conjuncts, and he's back to the place he was at when you were born. So at that point, you're considered to be a full adult. You're an adult at 18, but you, in a lot of cultures, you're 21 when you can drink. And so there are kind of two of those different demarcations growing up into adulthood. At 28, we have our Saturn return. So again, many people feel like that's the time to settle down. They're going to change jobs or really culminate their career. They may have gotten out of college a few years earlier, and now they're really starting to come into their own in their careers. They start families, they get married, start families. All that happens around 28 to 30. So you're going to find life cycles-wise that's going to happen there. Then at 38 to 42, can you guess what that is? It's your midlife crisis. And Uranus is in opposition to your natal Uranus at that point. And what does Uranus do? Uranus is about autonomy and independence and not being told what to do. And that's what happens in your midlife crisis. You start to reevaluate. You get a little erratic in your behavior because it's that Uranian energy. It isn't linear. It's quantum. It wants to go and explore different realms, and it doesn't matter where it is, where it comes from. So we get a little bit more unpredictable at that age, between 38 and 42. So you have your second Saturn opposition, and that's at 43 to 44. And that's when, if you're having that midlife crisis late in your 30s, if something's going to happen, it can happen at 43, 44. That's actually the time that I got divorced, and that's the kind of energy that can be put into it depending on where it falls in your chart. It can be change a career, change a home, any major changes and shifts to what you're doing in your life. It's a big demarcation. So then, let's see here. We have the Jupiter opposition around, it's the fifth Jupiter opposition at 53 to 54. So another transition year, another time of shift and change. It can be a time when we move far away or move to another place. We may be having the transition of our parents because they're going to be getting older, and so Jupiter can bring about that transformation in your life as well. So then you have your second Saturn return between 56 and 58, and that is a big time of shift from having had the authority in your career or coming into your career, and now you're really moving in more to the boss energy and the older generation. Now you're mature, you know what you're doing, you may be running the place. So it's more that managerial energy coming in. I'm going to wrap this up because, oh my gosh, it's already 24 after. Okay, so your third Saturn opposition happens between 72 and 73. A lot of people have shifts and changes. You have your sixth Jupiter return at 72, 73. And so you're going to have a pretty big year around then. I know both my parents are those two ages. My dad's 72, my mom's 73. So they're having some ideological upheaval in their worlds right now, and shifting and changing, trying to understand the transition into senior life. And then 76 to 84, you have your first Uranus return. So that's the time when you come into what you were here to learn and understand on a higher level, on that quantum level. What is it? It's like a clarity comes back to you. And, you really have that sage energy and something to give to people at that point where you're the tribal elder, so to speak. You have a Neptune opposition at 82, give or take a little bit of time. And so that's when Neptune is that connection to the other side and what is hidden. And I would venture to say that Neptune oppose your natal Neptune is going to bring you the view of what you have not seen in your lifetime. Like naturally Neptune rules the hidden and our own undoing. At Neptune opposition, you're going to see with more clarity what exactly everything is about. And so just to give you an example, my Neptune is in my first house in Scorpio. So when that happens, it will be over in Taurus, and it will be in the house of marriage and partnership, and it rules money, value to others, and value with self. So that time will be a time of really growing into life on Earth, as opposed to in the tangible material world, as opposed to really being more about the emotions and the feelings and the depth and the hidden. It's going to be more out in the open and more pragmatic because it's Taurus. So Neptune and Taurus, while it is about the ethereal things, it's more about bringing that into the tangible world. So I see in my future that if I live that long, which genetics is good that I will, it'll be more about having that sense of accomplishment and groundedness that maybe having all that Scorpio energy isn't really giving until I'm at that age. Then I'll really see things more in better retrospect, and hindsight will be 20/20. And so, you have to wait till we're older to get that, though. So, okay, I've got a few callers, and I think I can get to everybody today. So if you hold on the line for a little bit, we're going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to take a sip of water so I don't have my little cough attack, and then we will be back. So let's just see. How about this? Hello and welcome back to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton and I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. It's good to have you back. If you are interested in getting a reading from me, you can get me at astrologerangel.com. Just click the Readings tab, or I believe on the front page there is even a button that says Schedule a Reading Now, so you can get me there. Also, if you sign up for my page, my blog, you will get updates throughout the month and what's going on in the planets, and also get connections when I post videos or any other new and interesting things associated with the show. So, yep. Anyway, let's take a caller. Hi, 817. Who is this?
Is that me? I can't believe I got through.
It is. I know. It's rare, but yeah, you got through.
Well, I called in late. I thought, well, I'll put my number in. I've talked to you before.
Yeah. Is this Nancy?
It is.
Okay, great. I didn't actually promote the show as much this week. I just put up the link yesterday, so I don't have as many people listening. So you're lucky and you got in, but I usually get my listeners in archive. So, yeah, you're lucky today. I was late this week.
Yeah, well, you know, I like I said, I get your email notice, so thank you for that. So, so that works very nicely.
Okay, lovely. So, what can I do for you today?
Well, like you said, I was listening. I have my Saturn return coming up next year. A lot of that's already changing for me, but with you know, I've got a lot of transitions going on here. My husband and I are in contact with a house. We're hoping that will work out to our favor, and we also have on my birthday. We have an actual mediation date set that day, and I'm like, is that a good day? Should be. Your birthday's a lucky day, but
yeah, usually. So March 29th, that's the actual day you have the mediation.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I didn't pick it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Changed.
Oh,
it was supposed to be March 8th, and they postponed. But
wow, okay.
You know, this house thing's coming in at the same time. It's a for sale by owner that we're working with.
Right.
And closer to my new job. I got a new job. My husband has a new job, new house.
Wow. Awesome.
I know. I hope. Awesome. Yes, we're ready for change.
Yeah, no kidding. So, okay. So I guess just, I'm going to give you extra time today because I have another caller, and I'm just going to let the other caller know if you want a reading, you got to hit 1 to raise your hand, and I can get to you. Otherwise, I've got some time to spend with you. So that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what is it you want to know from me?
Well, I would like to know, the house. First of all, the 29th, March 20th, is this going to be done? Because this should be the final end of it all, March 29th.
Right.
And, maybe it'd take a little longer for everything to settle through that. But, I really want to know that this is over because it's kind of holding us back.
She was the partner that, I just want to remember, she was the partner that you trusted and then she turned against you. Let's see, Jupiter's retrograde, and Jupiter goes direct on May 9th, I believe. Let me look real quick. Did I not put that there? I'm pretty sure I memorized it. I'm just going to make sure before I go and tell you, I said May 9th, and then it wasn't May 9th. Yeah, it's May 9th. So let's see, and you've got March, so just a little bit of time. It's actually not touching your Pluto, which is good. He won't even get all the way back to your Pluto. So I do think that energy, that Jupiter, is just saying, okay, this is the transition time because he's really only a couple degrees off of the peak of where he's going. And he really won't be touching the last planet in that house of joint finances and legalities. So he's not going to, I guess what I'm saying is that he's not going to rock your world in that sense. Everything that he was going to do, he's already done. And as far as, really upheaval and transition and everything, you should have gotten all the messages you needed to get and lessons you needed to get from that particular thing. So, definitely that day with Sun on your natal sun is going to be more fortunate. And hang on a second. I'm just trying to get some energy figuring out, because, you've got a judge. Judge is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is right there on your sun that day, too. So he's within 6 degrees, and he's coming up on Uranus. So that's like an autonomy energy again. It's entrepreneurship, which this is about as well, right? And I think that what it also means is that you're going to be able to speak your mind in that situation. The only thing I would caution, because you have a lot of power going on right there on your sun that day, is not overwhelming the judge. Okay? Because the judge is ruled by Virgo. Okay? And you're, I can tell you, being a Virgo with 4 planets in Virgo, Virgos are more subtle energy. They're about trying to make things work and being of service. And Aries is about, I'm just going to go do it and get it done. I'm the doer of the zodiac, right? That's you. So So I think that Aries energy is attractive to that Virgo energy, but you don't want to step on the judge's toes. So you don't want to say, yeah, and she was doing this and that, and you need to see how I'm telling you. You don't want to be the finger pointer and accusatory or anything like that. You want to just watch that energy, because there is so much power going on. You can really get your point across with less energy because there's so much of it. Okay? So I would give you that. And then let's see, we've got Neptune-Venus conjunction in the house of money. So that can be good or bad. It's creative energy, and it's around money, and it can mean money. It can mean the coming in of money. Unfortunately, Neptune is direct that day. Venus is direct that day. Mars is coming up on Saturn, which is also the culmination of energy around partners in business and the networking. So it does look like there is some strong energy, positive energy going on. I guess I would only say that I'm just looking at some other interactions with the planets. Hang on a second while I do that. Yeah, you definitely have the energy of opposition going on in that day, because Venus is opposed Jupiter retrograde that day, but Jupiter answers to Mercury, which is right next to your sun. So Jupiter is the planet that's transiting your house of the energy around the opposition in court, and Jupiter is the planet of fortune. And you also have the North Node right there, too. So I really do think that is, I think what's going to happen is it'll go your way, but you may not see. Is there any money involved in this situation?
Should be, yes. There definitely should be.
Okay. I would think that you'll probably end up getting that money by May, because when Jupiter goes direct, then it's it releases the fortune. Okay?
Okay.
At the very latest, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I definitely think Jupiter changing directions is going to reverse the energy around that money, and then it's going to be whoo, okay? It'll be whoosh. And then in September, when Jupiter gets to Libra, then that's the shift and change, transformation around the partnership energy, and that's when you're going to be able to move on. And there may be a last bit of this energy culminating and being let loose at that time. I will say there will be energy, and that will be a release. And I wouldn't even be surprised if she comes back and says, I really just wanted the best for you, or something like that.
Totally. That's totally something she would do.
Yeah, because it's kind of well, hang on one second. I'm sorry, I was a little congested there.
That's okay.
Yeah, so Jupiter right now, again, it's in Virgo, which is, it can be of service, but it's also the loner. And so there's that loner energy, and also frugal. It's frugal energy. So it's around kind of a withholding of the money, but I do think that with Jupiter going forward, it will culminate. I think it's going to be released to you. It just isn't necessarily until after Jupiter goes direct, and then even potentially into Libra. So
right, okay.
And
just being done with that completely, with the court side of it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, the culmination of all the court stuff is after Jupiter goes into Libra, probably, because it will still be in that house for you until September. So there may be still things wrapping up, legalities, so to speak.
Right. If we do buy a house, though, that also could be part of that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, joint finances and possessions are that house as well.
Okay.
And let me see.
We're looking.
Go ahead.
We're in contract negotiations right now. We're waiting for the seller to come back with some modifications to the property or something. But
right. Yeah, I think I talked to you about that before. That there could be something, but it won't necessarily be the way it started out being. Do you remember me saying that?
No, because we just found this house a couple of weeks ago. So it's only been about 3 weeks that this happened. I don't think I've talked to you since then.
Well,
this is kind of new.
No, I know, but you did talk to me about wanting to get a house, and I was looking at your chart last time, and I remember cautioning you about like timing around that, because I know real estate is under Sagittarius, and I know it sounds odd to people, but definitely the whole real estate bubble got burst when Pluto went from Sagittarius into Capricorn, and definitely there's a connection between Sagittarius and real estate. So Sagittarius has Saturn retrograde in it right now, and then Mars is in Sagittarius, which is taking action, but the Saturn retrograde means that it's going to have to be done again, or there's something that will have to be gone over again regarding the house. So it could mean anything from having to redo the structure of it, which is Saturn, to having like maybe make another offer, so the negotiation goes back and forth. It's like anything that you're going to have to do over regarding that, the culmination of that and the structure manifesting. Okay, and so let me give you a little clue about that, because Saturn, when it goes direct, it'll be better for you. And I hate to say it hasn't been retrograde long. Actually, hold on a minute. Oh, I know. This is the chart for the 29th. I'm like, wait a minute, Saturn's not retrograde. Okay, so excuse me. I'm looking at the future date. That's why. Yeah, so in March it won't be good. No, right now it's good. Oh, thank goodness I realized that. So, yeah, let me just look at what's going on now for you. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, because I forgot to switch charts once I started talking to you there. Mars is in Scorpio right now, so that is joint finances, and properties and things like that. And then let me see when he goes into Sagittarius, so that will actually be more beneficial for you. So it'll be the beginning of March. The 6th of March. So are you just waiting to hear if you're going to get it?
Well, we have it. We're under contract, but Mark had the inspection, and now we're saying, all right, either fix these things or reduce some more money off the price. So she's going to come back, and she's going to do an insurance claim because the tenants that lived in there kind of trashed the place. And it needs a lot of work, but she can get a claim on it. So if she can get a claim on it, she can either take the money and fix it or take the money and deduct it. So she's in the process of, this just happened 2 days ago, that she's filing a claim and to see what will come of that. But most likely we're hoping for a deduction on what we're contracted under from that.
Okay, well, you've got in your first house you have Venus, which also rules material goods, at 29 Capricorn. So there's going to be some kind of shift of structure or something going on with this. You also are like right now Venus is on your Saturn, so that's really interesting that there's a culmination of this whole thing when Venus, which is worldly goods, is on Saturn in structure, and also the ownership of responsibility, which is Capricorn, and then Venus goes into Aquarius and lands right on your Jupiter. So what I see is there's going to be some type of shift and change around what's going on and a transition, and then there's going to be probably some kind of idea, especially with Mercury right on Jupiter now. I can tell you things are going to shift and change in a way that you probably don't expect, but it's going to happen. Like there's a culmination, and because Mercury is on Jupiter and then Venus hits Jupiter, I think it's going to work out in your favor. So, and I'm going to also give you an addendum to that, which is it may work out in your favor, but it may not be what you think it is. Okay? So if it because I'm not saying that it's going to fall through, because I just think that there's going to be something unexpected. There's information that you don't know that's going to probably come to light around the house. Like I think it's already being talked about, but you may not know everything. And when Venus gets into Aquarius, then it's like, okay, now we're going to have a newer understanding, and then that's going to shift and change and transform the situation. Okay? And keeping in mind, Aquarius, you can't pin it down, you can't predict it. I mean, I can only predict that it's unpredictable. That's pretty much what I can predict. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that there's probably something with the electrical, and I don't know if you said that, but I can tell you something with the electrical is going to come about.
Mark said that when he did the home inspection or something. I didn't say it to you, but...
No, okay, good, because I'm like, I didn't hear that from her, did I? No, but I can tell you, with Mercury and then Venus in Aquarius and Jupiter there, it's about the electrical. So you'll probably find out something that has to be redone with the electrical, or let me see. Yeah, just be cautious around that, because you just, Saturn and Sagittarius, it's a fire energy. You don't want anything related to a fire. So also make sure that everything around the home is insulated well and there are no loose wires or things like that. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be fixed. We know that.
Yeah.
We are aware of that. So.
Okay, good. And also Vesta on Uranus, which, again, Uranus rules Aquarius. And Vesta is women, and so it's aggressive women. That's interesting. I wonder if you're going to get a judge that is assertive and a woman. That would be interesting. Let me know about that.
The judge is a male. I know that much.
Oh, okay.
And, he was a judge that when they switched parties for some reason, they asked him to switch from Republican to Democrat to keep his seat, and he said, "Nope, sorry, I resign." So he retired.
Oh, really? Wow.
Instead of switching parties, so he's got guts. He'll stand up for his rights.
Wow.
So I like that. He's older man, so I'm happy with that.
Well, that's also the tradition of like Virgo. That's I mean, Virgo can be conservative. Earth signs tend to be more conservative because they're security based. So, and he's represented by Virgo. So, but
I have a Virgo moon in Pluto. That helps.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hopefully, we'll connect there.
Exactly. And then, but you have also Uranus and Leo, which is that can be the unexpected, but it's retrograde, so it's more social on some level. So I think that there probably will be some opportunities to connect, and that's healing energy. So I'm hoping that that's going to be something that'll be more healing for you. So I think Vesta down by Uranus is probably her. It's probably your opponent.
That's right.
Vesta can be a little bit cranky, not cranky. Let's women who are nasty. Honestly.
Sneaky.
Okay. Well, I hope that helps you.
That does. Thank you very much. I'll let you know how it goes. And, I talked to you a while ago. I did end up taking the job. The one that you said, well, you might not be what you think it is, and yada, yada. So.
And?
First was good. So first was good.
Okay, good. Okay. That's wonderful. And that was going to be a temporary until you did something else?
No, this was...
I thought it was like just adding extra income until you could get your business up and running the way you want it.
No, I'm still doing my side businesses, but this is a real full-time, real back to corporate America job. And you're saying Saturn return comes back around 56. I'm like, okay, well, I'm in the manager position, so I'm in a higher level position than I've been in before. So.
Oh, good. Wow, yeah, Pluto is coming up on your Saturn for sure, which is, all that authority stuff. So, awesome. Okay, Nancy.
I forgot about that. I thought I was done with Pluto. He already crossed it. I forgot he's going to hit Saturn. Oh.
Yeah, it just came into your first house, and then he's going to hit there around the turn of the decade, around 2020 to 2023. So,
time for that.
He's coming up, So, it's going to be, but that's that shift and change right before we go into Aquarius. So it's going from that conservative energy to more liberal energy,
Perfect.
The way it is.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. All right, take care. Let me know.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and we have 832. Hi, 832. Who is this?
Hi, it's Diane.
Hi, Diane. Have you called the show before?
No.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Yay, I'm so happy to hear a new caller.
I'm just texting you at all. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, you want my birth
info? Why don't you give me your birth information first, and then we can find out what you want to talk about.
Okay, September 24th, 1960, at 10:04 p.m. in Houston.
All right. And what is it we can do for you today?
Give me a different chart.
Give you a different chart, what, than the one you have?
Yeah.
You don't want it?
Yes. I don't want it anymore.
Oh, no. Wow. So you're
Yeah.
going through a lot of stuff, huh? Well, let me look.
Yeah.
Let me look. Oh, so you already you had your Pluto over your Saturn. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your difficulties from your perspective?
Relationship, financial. I mean, every area of my life is like just not working. Hasn't been working for
really
since '09. I mean, I lost just about everybody in my family and friends. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Pluto took everybody out. All my
Jupiter too. Jupiter was going over your Pluto in the last year too.
It's been rough, and I just wonder when I'm going to catch it right, you know?
Well, since 2009, so that's about, I would think that's a little bit, 7 years ago. Let me see where it was. Do you research your chart? Do you know it?
I know it, but I'm not real good yet. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Saturn was in Virgo then, and I can attest that was a difficult time right around then too, for me. So I totally get it. Okay, so what I'm looking at, and definitely, I think you're at the end of a cycle because now Saturn is squaring where it was then, and he's going through your house of marriage and partnership. Now, tell me, are you married?
No, I mean my husband died in '09.
Oh,
and
he was one of the ones who passed. Oh, okay.
Yeah. My dad. I mean, I lost like 11 people in '09.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
it's crazy. I have no.
Wow.
I have my children left and my grandchildren, and that's it.
Oh.
I have one aunt in Louisiana still.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well,
crazy.
You know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's interesting you said you lost 11 people because Saturn is at 11 degrees of Capricorn in your chart in the house of death and rebirth, and Pluto was going over it, and there were 11. It's 11th degree.
That is interesting. Wow.
That's really interesting to me. Yeah.
That is.
Yep, but Pluto is still in that house, but what it's doing, okay, so you've got a couple different things going on, 3 different things that are probably, well, 4 significant things. So Jupiter is in your house of home and family right now, and he is retrograde, so it's about healing. So yes, I think from that perspective, Jupiter came into your house of home and family, onto your Pluto in the last year, and again, around Christmas time when he went direct. Once he came in for the last time, he was into Virgo, and then he went back to Leo, and then he came back into Virgo. He was kind of like off to the races. So he hit your Pluto early on this year, and now he's already at 20. He's retrograding back to 13, but he's touching all this energy of North Node, and he fortunately won't get on your Pluto again because Jupiter on Pluto is a really difficult transition time. Did you move in the last year?
No, but I own my home, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay in it because I can't. My finances are bad. Yeah.
Well, Jupiter retrograde in Virgo is going to be more frugal. It's going to be like, man, where's it coming from? You know, oh, it's tight. You know, it's like you can't see the forest for the trees. It's like, I know it's coming, but I don't see it now, and I don't know why it can't just come now, right? So, that energy's there. But you have Jupiter going back to 13. He's going to be really close to your North Node, and then he turns direct. And I can tell you after May, I've got chills all over my body about this. I think after May, it's going to loosen up for you, and I think you're going to have an opportunity. It's a service or work opportunity. It could be something in the healthcare industry. Are you looking for a job? Or are you looking for more work or no?
Well, I was a massage therapist, but I have carpal tunnel syndrome.
Oh,
and I need to be healed. You know?
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then: are you into Reiki at all?
Yeah, I did. I'm level 2 Reiki.
Okay.
But I don't ever practice it. Very rarely do I practice.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Because
isn't that crazy?
First off, I would highly recommend you get certified as a master teacher for that. And second off, I went through a period. I got certified in 2008 as a Reiki master, and I don't use it for money or for financial gain, but you can. I actually just do it on myself and do it on my family and do it on friends and anybody that I see needs help. I'll even Reiki people on TV, like celebrities who I know have issues.
Yeah.
So I send them Reiki. So I do it all the time. And I think for you, because you were a massage therapist, you can't touch people. You can still heal people from a distance with Reiki. So I think that that could actually be a really good extension of that whole area if you're interested.
I like all the natural healing abilities. I like all,
Yeah. So what I see so much, and I'm running out of time because I'm just dawdling here. Saturn just went into your house of marriage and partnership, 1 degree in there. I think he's going to come back out when he retrogrades, but he'll go back in later on in the year around, I think it is October. Let me just look real quick here and eyeball it. And I don't know what I did with, there are my glasses, so I can read this for you. Okay. So he needs to get to 14 degrees. So, in October, boy, I called that right on. October, he'll get back in for good. I think that, again, Saturn in Sagittarius is about long distance and about people of other cultures. And it's in the house of marriage and partnership, and it's about taking structure. And I do see a move, but I see something that's going to be a good move for you. And I think it's going to manifest over the course of the next year. And let me see. I think that you're going to have a romance coming in too, because Jupiter will be. And I know. Nice. Pardon me.
That would be nice. I mean, I'm not actively looking or anything, but I'm about tired of being alone.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It's just like we don't want it. I mean, you're so young too to lose a husband. That's sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
50.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a shame. I'm sorry. So, when Jupiter gets to around 3 degrees, which is late September, it's going to go into your house of romance. It'll go out of your house of home and family. It'll hit your sun. So it'll be about, this. I think what's going to happen is you're going to be like, I need this for myself because that's the sun in Libra. You naturally have Sun, Mercury, and Venus in Libra. And that's naturally somebody who needs to partner to feel comfortable in your own skin. It's like, no, there's something, and I got chills with this. So, I mean, I haven't been getting chills a lot lately, but I'm getting a lot of chills with you, so I know you've got guardian angels hanging around you, and I think that they're bringing somebody into your life. So,
that's good.
Jupiter, definitely the late September time frame, you're going to have right when the sun goes into Libra, and Jupiter will be in Libra. It'll be your birthday. Then Jupiter's fortune. So I think this year is going to be a really fortunate year. I do foresee a move, but I think it's going to be good for you. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a long distance, because Saturn is in Sagittarius, and he'll be moving further along towards your natal Jupiter in Sagittarius in the house of marriage and partnership. So there's somebody either who lives farther away that you're going to go see, or you may end up moving for other reasons around children, because Jupiter not only goes into the fifth house of romance, but that's the house of children. So I don't know if you have children farther away and you're like, okay, if I have to move, I'm going to move closer to my grandkids. And
no, they all are here. They're all real close to me.
Oh, okay.
All my babies are real close to me right now.
Oh, well.
And that's why I can't imagine moving away from them.
Okay.
That's the only thing that brings me joy.
Okay. Okay, well, if that's the case, then, of course, there's free will. And then I think that there may also be somebody coming in who is either living far away that you're interested in, or he is of another culture, and then there will be some fortune around him. So, yeah. And, so definitely some romance. I think that there's a change in your attitude, especially after tomorrow when Venus goes into Aquarius. You're going to start making some more moves with friends, and I would recommend going out and doing things with friends. I think you're going to find connections that way if you're looking for someone. Neptune's in your house of career, and it means bring in some of the energy around creativity into your job, into your career. And I'm just going to say to those, who are listening live, thank you for listening, and I'm going to finish up with you. And Neptune in Pisces is very creative, and it's also intuitive, obviously, highly intuitive. You've got Moon in Scorpio. Mars is right on your Moon right now in work. And so have you done any readings for people? Do you incorporate readings into what you do?
I just do it for myself. You know what I mean? I do tarot and all that for myself.
Okay,
and
well,
I look at stuff.
I'm thinking that there's something connected to doing it for others. And Mars is in your house of work, and of course that's also the health work. And it's also death and dying and rebirth because it's Scorpio. And it's in the house of healing, and that's mediumistic things. That's, doing something. It rules the metaphysical arts. And Mars right on your Moon tells me that there's some strong connection to mediumistic abilities. So, that you definitely can connect and help heal people. And I think, at the very least, heal yourself. But at the most, you could have a new career if you open up to it. And Pluto, which is a Scorpio planet, is in your house of death and rebirth, the house of Scorpio. And so there's major shifts in the structure. Your Saturn is in that house, so there's a connection to death and rebirth. And so it can be around healing, it can be around medium work, it can be around things that help people transition in hospice.
I've thought about that. I've really thought about that because I was with my mom, my dad, and my grandma, and that, you know what I mean?
So you already have experience
when they took their last, even my ex-husband, he just passed in last April, and I was even there with him when he took his last breath,
Wow. That's amazing.
It's really weird. I don't know why.
You definitely have all that. You have it in your chart. You've got. Oh, go ahead.
I just feel like I'm kind of like, am I really supposed to help people cross over or what?
Yeah, you are. Saturn and Capricorn in the 8th house would completely support that, in my opinion. Yeah, Saturn and Capricorn. Saturn is life, purpose, and career. It rules Capricorn, and Capricorn is structure, physical body, and also, the life purpose. Saturn and Capricorn is your life purpose, and it's in the 8th house of death and dying and rebirth. So definitely, and it's also the elderly. It rules the elderly, or ancestors. So definitely, there's not only something you've been through, but in some sense, training in what happened. So I would encourage you, because Pluto's going to be in your 8th house for probably another 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, good to 2023, 2024, somewhere in there. It goes to 0. It'll still be there. Hang on. I'll tell you when.
Okay.
2025. That's 9 more years. Pluto's going to be in your house of death and rebirth. So for at least 9 years, I would say that's a really good place to maybe put some energy. And if you do Reiki, if you do the Reiki healing, not only can you encourage people, and if you would apply to someone, to like a hospice situation, you've got the energy of Virgo, because your Moon is in the 6th house, which is healing, and the Virgo energy. You've got Pluto in Virgo in the house of home and family. So I do think on a great level, you're a teacher, and you're a person who understands this. And even though it was so many people in your life, I think that it gave you the knowledge on how to deal and cope with that situation, that you can help others. And it's not just the dying, it's also the living. It's people who need to know somebody's there to care for their loved one. Okay? Honestly, Mars in your 6th house in Scorpio, I would look into, applying. I don't know. You didn't even say you do or don't have a job. Did you say you have?
I don't. I don't right now. In fact, I filed for disability, and I went to court. On January 4th, and I think Venus was squaring Pluto. Venus was squaring Pluto that day, so I'm thinking, I don't think I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Well, Venus was in Sagittarius. You said on the 4th of January?
January 4th, yeah.
Yeah, Venus was squaring Sagittarius. Mars was in Libra, which was right on your natal Venus, and then it went into Scorpio right after that. So,
it was a woman judge, and she was like Judge Judy on steroids. She was such
oh my gosh,
crazy woman. Yeah.
And so, did it not go your way?
I don't know. I still haven't heard yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Jupiter went retrograde that day. So
it went retrograde that day?
Yeah, it went literally. Let me just look. I take it back. Mercury went retrograde that day. Jupiter went retrograde on the 7th, 3 days after that. So what I'm telling you is you're probably going to hear about it after May. May 9th is your also drop dead date because May 9th Jupiter goes direct. And that will release the energy. And it may take, let me see, he was at 22, so it may take until, hang on, I just got to find when he gets all the way back to 22. I'm sorry, I'm doing this literally flying blind because I don't have my glasses on. August is going to be a good month, and then in September he goes into Libra. So, I mean, that's a really big month for you. I'm just going to tell you may be moving right around August, September time frame because Jupiter goes into the next sign, Libra, right around then. So let me just tell you when, as I'm bugging my eyes to see. Right around September 10th, like the 9th of September. So that's a huge demarcation for you because Jupiter goes into Libra and then he hits your sun. And then right after hitting your sun, literally 1 degree later, he goes into Libra. Sorry, he goes into Libra at 0, he hits your sun at 2, and he goes into your 5th house at 3. And usually when Jupiter goes anywhere and makes a transition either to a planet or to a cusp, he changes something. And since he was holding back when he retrograded, he's releasing. So when he goes direct, he's definitely going to move the wheels forward, but you may not actually, again, like the other lady, you may not get the check until, he goes on the 10th of September into Libra, which will be, really big for you. And it's going to be romance, it's going to be children, it's going to be creativity, it's going to be art and finding connectedness to other individuals. And you're going to, if you don't have someone in your life, you're definitely putting out the vibes. It's like, bing, 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 like, come to me. And people will, you're going to have it. Yeah, over the next year, it's going to be all about partnership and romance and connectedness. And I think if you find someone, there's definitely some romance going on, and there will be a real strong commitment come the end of next year, which is when Jupiter goes into Scorpio and hits your Neptune. So, there's some expansion of your dream coming true around that. And there's also a connectedness to Scorpio energy, which is money. It's joint finances. So there's a lot of shifts and changes coming in the next year for you, 2 years. Okay?
I need it.
You're on a new path, I can guarantee. Yeah, there's definitely a new path. I would look into hospice or something helping people through healing arts still. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Oh, it's so good. Thank you so much for hanging on and spending your time with me today.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, take care. I hope to hear back.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. All right, that's the end of the show, and thank you so much for spending your time with me. We'll see you next week. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com.